Hello, everyone. Welcome to another WinnersCircle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It is the 10th of November, and it's a Monday. That means Doug Upstone and Chip Chirimbes is joining me. We're going to look a little action for Tuesday, college football free pick action here on the YouTube channel. Before I get to that, hit the like, thumbs up, thumbs down. Maybe you don't want action. Maybe you're looking for some degenerate NBA play today, even though, I don't know, these guys sitting out. You know, we're 9 games in, but, you know, we got load management underway. Whatever. You're not going to get NBA till the playoffs on here, folks. We know when players are playing. We'll have college basketball before then. But again, hit that like, notification bell on. 7 days a week, free pick action coming at you. Monday to Thursday, Friday football live, 1:30 p.m. Eastern live. And Chip Chirimbes is taking over the weekends with the Vegas Legend crew coming in. Saturday, Sunday, free picks for you there. Again, free picks are the free picks. Best bets. Top plays, premium action. See, I just had a Hershey bar while I was waiting before we started, and I'm all stuckered up in my mouth here. Best bets, premium action over at gamblersworld.net. 3 738 packages guaranteed to show you a profit or we credit you back. Great deals up right now. All right, we have the little special we're running. Knock some cash off for the daily passes there. $69.99 for that. Listen, we got action tomorrow. You want your football, NFL, college football, 7 days a week football action for the next basically 3 weeks, and then we're into bowls. I know hockey and NBA, more hockey and is a lower level for some people, but hockey, NBA, college basketball, plenty of action in these weekly passes, folks. So make the smart money move, get on board. We got the leaderboard. Again, seasons are just starting off. As you see below, $10, $20, $30 pick packages off right now for the subs. Go get them. These seasons are just starting. And if you remember last year in the WNBA and in the MNBA, Chip Chirimbes very well. In the MNHL, I'll go with the M in front. I'll make a joke there. In hockey, Doug, 60-some% clip on the season. You can make money in Sport TV if you don't know about them. That's why we are a multi-capper site. Guys across the board. We can make you money in these sports. Now, before we get into these things, gentlemen, and talking about your weekends and what's in store for you guys this week, 2 things as we're coming on to do the show. Giants get rid of their head coach. Brian Dabol's out. Now, I don't know if that's a great move. The guy was up against it. He had to play the rookie quarterback because they're going to fire him anyway. I think we've seen this play out before. Now, Darts looked fine, but you know what? The guy's got another concussion. He's 2 concussions this month? Who knows how that's going to work out? I always feel you get rid of a coach, and if things don't work out next year with the guy, and then the year after they're still a sub-500 team, hey, the quarterback's not my guy. I had to inherit this guy. It's not my fault we stink. Let Dabol play out the season. Why are you looking – I mean, take it from the Dolphins. The Dolphins guy's going to get fired at the end of the year. Why ruin yourself to give your team a lift when you have 2 wins, you get a better draft pick? The reason why your quarterback's getting concussions because he's got to run for his life behind a bad offensive line, and your 2 best skill position players are out hurt. What are you doing? Play out the season. You can take a top 5 draft pick. Why do this and maybe give yourself a little bit of we feel good. Look at this. We're going to show you it was all him and not us. I think it's a bad move. I don't know. Who wants to go first on that? Who's chomping at the bit with the Giants?
Let me tell you one thing. First of all, I think for Christmas I'm going to have to send you a box of Godivas. That's number 1.
No Hershey?
You'll love the Godivas.
By the way, speaking of that, Chip, before I thought he was eating a chocolate U-log. Actually,
that'll be coming soon.
Hershey.
But, the problem, one of the first things I said during the game yesterday, I turned to a friend of mine. I actually was watching the Giants, and I said, boy, this Dark just runs too often. They have him running the ball too much. I mean, he looks like a really good runner, but how long is that going to last in the NFL? I mean, really, and I am in shock or surprised, shall I say, that the Giants, there have been rumors that the Giants fired a coach in mid-season. They usually don't do that. They're a conservative franchise, and they usually wait things out and keep anyone, even when they had horrible coaches. I mean, I don't know if this guy was that bad, but they blew so many games at the end. I mean, how do you get the players to complete the task? I don't know if it comes on his shoulders or whatever. I mean, were they not prepared? Was there no game plan? When they lost Scadaboo, I think that took a lot out of the team. I think they lost a part of their heart. They came out last week and were terrible. This week they had a great effort. They faltered, giving up 2 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes. Yeah. It's just that it's been happening too often, but I don't know if that's coaching. Is it a defensive coach? Are they playing prevent? But I'm not all that surprised, and other than the fact that it was in midseason.
Old Northwestern quarterback Mike Kafka getting the reins for 7 games here for the Giants here, Doug.
Yeah, the only thing that didn't make any sense to me is, I mean, you see what the most successful teams do. They match a quarterback with a coach. Okay, the best one. So if you have a high draft choice, you get your guy. So if you're gonna fire Dabol basically 1 game past the middle of the season, why didn't you just get him from last year? Because obviously you had your radar up already that you wanted to get rid of this guy.
Doug, that's because they're really a cheap organization and they're not looking to pay anyone extra.
Yeah, I mean, they're not college universities, in other words, not willing to pay somebody $50 million to walk away.
Yeah.
But so to me, because partly what you're saying there, Sean, then so they bring in somebody new and wonder if that guy doesn't work out. So then all of a sudden we got the constant thing like we saw with Sam Darnold, we've seen with countless quarterbacks. You have a guy that maybe has some talent, okay, and can be an NFL quarterback, but then he's got 3 offensive systems in 5 years or 4 years, 3 different systems. I mean, that just stunts any guy's growth.
Sam Darnold, Zach. I mean, you saw Zach Wilson again. You don't know how good these guys will be because you can say, "Oh, they're a bust." You get 3 coordinators in 3 years, you're in trouble as a young quarterback. Right. These quarterbacks come out now and have trouble who are good. You can't do that. I mean, just look across. Justin Fields, he might be crap. I don't know how good the guy is. He didn't get a shot in Chicago. He went to Pittsburgh. The Jets, he looks terrible. You do not know. Again, Fields might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm saying from the standpoint of you saw that happen in Chicago with the guy. Right. You mentioned the other Jet quarterbacks. And like right now in Chicago, all right, Caleb Williams, they pulled out a win yesterday. How about they lose that game? They lose to the Vikings. They got Green Bay, 49ers, Detroit up twice. They could lose out the rest of the year with this new head coach, right, the offensive guru. And then where are you next year? So you finish the year, 7-9 or 7-10 or 9-8, whatever the hell they go. Next year they're same thing. He can be like, you know what? This quarterback, I just can't win in my system. Now you're doing the same thing here. Whoever takes over, Kafka somehow wills this team to 4 wins down the stretch. Which, if I'm a Giant fan, I'm hoping to God that doesn't happen. I don't want that. Give me an offensive lineman. Give me another wide receiver. Give me an edge rusher. But
they lost their wide receiver. I mean, he was the most explosive player they had, and that didn't help at all. I mean, no. And they lost their running back, Scadaboo. I mean,
exactly. Why do a change now? It's a lost season.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, be like, listen, I know guys are hurt, but you know what? It is what it is, man. You're out here. We got to make a change.
And besides,
how do you fire a guy when these people are hurt?
And who doesn't like Black Monday anyways? When the season's over, the next day, right? I mean, everybody, Black Monday, that's something we look forward to see how many coaches get fired and then new ones are going to get hired. So this takes away some of the
joy. Him because he blew a game. I mean, how about, can the defense make a stop? I say this against any team. Where's the defense? Well, where's the defensive coordinator? Can he make a stop? Because last time I checked, Giants head coach was an offensive guy, right? He teams around Josh Allen. He was an offensive guy.
Yep.
Well, he wasn't calling the plays on defense to let the Bears get back into this game and steal it at the end of the game.
Hey, Sean, what do you think the Kansas City Chiefs record would be if Justin Fields was their quarterback?
All right, now you got jokes. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm just, you're talking about it. He's failed everywhere he has. He hasn't even passed the eye test once.
Yeah.
No, I guess. You know what? I don't think he was terrible in Chicago. I mean, he had
inaccurate.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But here's the thing: when you have a bad coach and a bad coordinator,
yes.
How'd Caleb Williams look last year? He looked just as crappy.
Oh.
I mean, he didn't look any better.
Out on Williams, I think. Really?
Yes, but he's got a new coach now. He's got a guy who had Goff and players and a little more inventive or whatever case may be. You have to be able to develop. If you spend 3 years in the league and you have different coordinators or just bad coaching, that's going to stunt your growth. I don't care if you're 24 or 34.
And, quarterbacks do develop. They do come on. We've seen that. I mean, Unitas didn't get a start until he was 26. And some of these guys, what's happening with Sam Darnold? I mean, Minnesota is a little bit different without him, and Seattle is much better with him. So some of these guys just come on later on in their careers. I mean, I never thought Darnold was going to make it. It looks like he has a shorter delivery than he used to. He used to wind up when he threw. And so, quarterbacks, you need time with them. You really do. I mean, very rarely do you come in like Dan Marino. And Dan Marino had 4 of the worst college years you can imagine as far as offensive coordinators and things along those lines. But he was that good.
You have now, especially in today's college football, with these guys with the nil money moving all over the place, not staying. We could leave early. Now more than ever, man, you stay in a program for 3 years, develop. You'll go to the NFL. You still get your money. I mean, stay in school. Stay at one school. Don't go to. I mean, who's the Slovis is backing up who now, right? And who's the backup?
Yeah, but the kid at USC who came from UNLV, he can play. I don't know if you watched him much, but I really like him. I don't even care to pronounce his name, but he transferred to Southern Cal, and that's an upgrade for him, I would believe, and certainly put him in the limelight.
Like Doug's laughing because he's on Arizona. This guy was on how many teams? He's a 5-star recruit.
Yeah, I know. I was amazed.
5 different colleges. How are you developing as a 5-star? You should be at one school the entire time until you get drafted your junior or senior year. Like, how are you just bouncing around?
A couple of quick thoughts here for you guys to comment on. I watched the entirety of the Tampa Bay New England game, and wow, New England is way better than I had imagined.
Yeah.
Well, I had Tampa Bay. But the thing is that, I mean, they have really good running backs. And the thing that really caught my eye, the amount of speed they have on the perimeter is really, I mean, it's really something. I mean, those guys get open, man. I mean, they're just gone.
You can't teach speed. That's one thing. You got it or you don't.
Yeah. And so now they have a team. Offensive line is good. Drake May, I love Drake May. Yeah. Probably the second time I saw him as a freshman as at North Carolina, and he's turning out to be exactly what I kind of thought he would be. So, I mean, he's really good, under control, But the key is he has a running game. Okay, that takes a lot of pressure off you, and then they have different individuals on that defense that are just really studs. So I was really impressed. Conversely, as good as Baker Mayfield was early, he's not that guy now anymore. He has regressed, and maybe it's because finally it caught up to him without having enough weapons. No Evans, no Goodwin, literally all year. Ikabua, I mean, Buka, he's really good, but man, so
need more help.
Yeah, so not enough there.
Did you think? I thought both the quarterbacks, Mayfield and New England quarterback May were struggling in the first half with the wet ball, and I was, it just seemed like both of them were a little bit more inaccurate than they usually are. And Drake May, right? I mean, that's his name.
Yeah.
He was great coming out of Carolina, and he looks like he's turned that franchise around. That's for sure.
And then the perfect, I forget who was it. Was it J.J. Watt? I forget who was doing that game. Or no, it was Romo. And he said something that I thought was very interesting in that game. He goes, everybody's always known that Josh McDaniels is a great offensive coordinator. Okay. It's always been known. He said, but now he's in a place where he doesn't have to appease the head coach. He just has the authority to run what he wants to run. And he said, and he goes, so that lightens the load on the entire offense because he can then come in and set up concepts, build things, and then make adjustments during the game that if you have a head coach that's more of a micromanager, you're not able to do. And I just thought that was a fascinating comment, during that game. And it says a lot potentially then what they're able to do because of Vrabel being the head coach.
Yeah, well, Vrabel, again, that's probably from the fact that Vrabel's a defensive guy. He's going to be like, let her fly, baby. Do what you got to do. Vrabel's going to have his – he's going to have like responsibility in the D. Yeah.
Now, well, we're going to talk about the MAC. So one thing I want to say, because I grew up in the Midwest, used to go to Northern Illinois games when I was old enough to drive and what have you there. And one of the byproducts, and we all know this, byproducts of like the MAC, Conference USA, the Sun Belt to a certain degree, is that it's sad. And what's sad about it, I mean, there's no quarterbacks in at least the MAC or the Conference USA. There just isn't. I mean, because the guys that are successful go to bigger schools now.
Yeah, those Ben Roethlisberger days are over, huh?
For sure, and then some. Yes, it's tough because I mean, well, I'll talk about a couple of these teams with their offense, but it's just hard to watch. I mean, there's nothing there. I mean, it's too bad, because I mean there was you always used now different players. Wasn't Crosby? Wasn't he out of the MAC? I thought the Raiders defensive lineman. I thought he was from the MAC.
I'm not
sure.
Could
be wrong on that, but
I know the old Mac was played at I thought at Ohio, the linebacker Khalil Mack, right?
Yeah, there was Khalil Mack too. Yeah, I mean So
before you jump into Maction, MLB, you got Clace and the other kid from
Ortiz,
$5,000 they got from their buddy for throwing a wild pitch. I just find this fascinating that these guys get caught for 5 dimes on a random wild pitch. Ohtani, nothing. Oh, no, it was my interpreter. How the hell does one guy have his buddy swindling for $20 million and is clueless to it, and yet they're coming down in a hammer 75 years in prison for me picking up 5,000 to bounce a ball? What is going? This is just bizarre.
Well, Ohtani didn't understand the language, so
it's just funny. You know what I'm saying?
But what do you guys expect to happen? You got Adam Silver coming out there saying we investigated these guys and we cleared them all, and the FBI indicted them for exact same incident. So. I mean, yes. You don't expect to be more. They're advertising for it. The NBA and these leagues benefit by organized gambling. They're now conduits. They're part of this. So why would they? I think it really brings up the integrity question, because why would you want to give up your sponsor? If your sponsor wants this to happen, I'm sorry. I just think it's very bad. I don't like the idea that it's illegal. I don't like the idea that they advertise on these games, and then we're supposed to say, oh, everything's on the up and up.
The whole, it's rigged. A bouncing a pitch or a turnover, I don't really look at that as rigging, right? Like it's two different things. Like that's.
But wait a minute. When a guy in the NBA is not scoring points on purpose to keep his totals down, your entire team is affected, without a doubt. And you're betraying everybody. I think it's one of the worst things going on out there. And for us, how does it help us?
Oh no, it's terrible. Well, again, no, Chip, like. This kind of nonsense, for one, it was like, who's the guy getting down like $400,000 on these bets? How the hell? I have a credit offshore. I got credit offshore PPHs, $100 player props. That's it. I can't even in-game more than $5. And I'm just some random guy. Like, how the hell are and this and it sounds like I'm random. You get into these things, people know you and you're respected, you're going to pay and do stuff like that. Who the heck is taking these guys crazy bets like that? How? I don't know anybody who's getting $7,000 down on first pitches. Where is that at?
I don't know. I
don't know.
We've been doing this a long time, Chip. You know anybody who gets
no, that's been going on, but I think it's right now. It's just so much easier, and it's you're inducing even the players to get involved.
$5,000 on a pitch.
The thing I don't understand. It's only the fault of the sports book, at least in my opinion. Why? In anything like one pitch, okay. Anything is possible. You do one pitch. Different things with live betting. I think live betting is if you want to look at anything to get rid of, I would say that would be a great place to start, because that just it opens the door
The individual player props too have really, I mean, it's so much easier to do that than to have a whole team tank or something along those lines. And if you're gonna play player props, if you don't bet under on everything, you're really crazy because that thing they know they can control. They can't control it going over.
Yeah, unders, and that's what I was talking about, like doing, because people are like, oh my goodness, is rigged. Bet the under. You bet the under. If everything's rigged, you just bet the under, and
exactly.
You'll be all right. Because everyone's doing the over part. No one's betting the unders. Like they talked about, I forgot who, someone was involved. Was it Beasley? They talked about him like, oh, look at this. He's involved. There's some shady movement on his games. And he went like under his props like for like 5 straight games.
Yeah.
What better way to throw you off the scent by having a couple bad games in a row and be like, oh, this guy can't be making people money. They're crushing them. Like, talk about a head fake. This guy's the Billy Walters of basketball players. Like, watch this. I'm going to go 15-5 instead of 22-9 and 4 assists for a week, and then they're going to think I'm normal, and then all of a sudden I'm back on my stat run again. So it's just I don't know.
I liked it better when it was in the shadows, and what we did was kind of like a mystery, and the information is available to everybody.
Yes.
It's just how you interpret it, and this is what I used to say to people for years. But now we used to have keys to information and certain factors that I think the general public wasn't quite aware of, but everything is out there now, everything.
Yep.
And also on the flip side of it, it's like, well, if it was in the shadows, it wouldn't have been found out, right? Because it's kind of like report out. Like you come in.
What
with
I meant in the shadows was the betting. And now the betting's out open. I mean, you didn't know.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I meant in the shadows, kind of like it wasn't legal, but anywhere but Vegas, everybody had a local kind of guy, and it was what it was.
But now there weren't props. There weren't player props.
No. But even just for sides and totals, if like point shaving stuff that went on a few years ago, like that was just found out because people were like, the books were like, what the hell's going on here? These guys. That's a red flag, like.
And it's always the bookmakers that are alerting the authorities that there's something odd going on.
Right.
I mean, this is why Vegas used to be, Vegas was always the control center, shall we say, because they would be tipped off because it was the only legal place. Yeah. Otherwise, it was one organized crime group trying to fix a game with another organized crime group. You'd have the group from Pittsburgh laying off bets in Kansas City knowing a game was fixed. And they used to beat each other. Whereas now it's the public or the players, actually, that are beating the bookmaker.
Yeah. They're friends. For $5,000. Can you imagine making like $4 million and be like, oh, I'll give you $5,000 for this? Like, I don't understand, but I guess it's easier for them to be like, what do you want me to throw
I think
a ball?
It's like getting over, being arrogant. They think,
it's
you can get away with it.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's like, all right, whatever. I'd rather the crazy thing is that to be that far off, these guys have to literally bounce a ball because they're so accurate throwing the ball, they might actually throw a strike if they kind of nibble out of plate. Think about that for a second. These guys are so good at pitching, right? The throws in question bounce. They can't even make it look close because it might be called a strike. They can't even nibble. They're so used to throwing how they throw near the strike zone that it has to be so blatantly obvious. Think about that, right? That's not even brought up. These guys are so great that I had to bounce a ball at 65 feet.
Yeah.
But they're also cheap-ass bastards that they won't give their friends $5 to figure, whatever, I'll do this and this guy can make money. You don't have to. He's not harassing me for money anymore. Right? Because that's what it comes down to. That's what it basically probably comes down to, these athletes. All their friends, everyone wants to jump on the coattails. And how many people can you just – MC Hammer, the guy's going to go bankrupt in a year trying to take care of all of his friends, right? You want to help everybody. I totally understand that if you were like that. There's only so many.
Like Ohtani, how he helped his friend?
Allegedly.
Right. And his real estate agent, too. That guy. Good. The Dodger fans will be out in force. Please, you say something on Twitter.
Now, there's a guy that should have been tanking. Why didn't he play under his player props?
Well, that was 25 minutes. Good day, everybody. Take care. No action for today. All right, we'll get to some action. Those are things that just had to be addressed on a random Monday. I thought it was, the firing is a good topic, and the baseball guys throwing up. I'm going to bounce the ball for $5,000, even though I'm got a $4 million contract, or whatever hell I'm making. Just craziness. Anyway, if you're stuck along this month, I'm sure you're hitting the thumbs down button multiple times. It keeps going up and down. It's all right. Whatever. Put that notification on for more crazy rants from the three of us. And that's not even a rant. We're not even ranting. It's the truth what's going on in
talking
sports.
Right now.
All right, let's move on to some football action here. We got a little Mac attack here. First game up on the board here. We got a 7:30 kickoff here. Kent State and Akron. First one on the docket here. The Zips 4-6 against Kent State. A miserable. I mean, Kent did win 3 games, huh? They are 3-6. Here we go. Infocision Stadium, Sumner Field. We got underdog action. Here we go. This game to me, 5.5 for Akron, 46 here for Kent. This was a 4. It's gone up. And actually I saw like a 6 out there before too in this game. How bad is Kent State? Although they have improved. Like, this was like a 1-win team, I think, last year, Doug. They were not a good team last year. I look at this game though, and when the uglies get together, I want to take it up, right? I mean, you got bad teams playing. What's going to happen when bad teams play? There's going to be points scored, whether via turnover, a pick 6, a fumble, bad penalties. This is why you're a 3-win team. This is why you're a 4-win team. You don't play well. You don't play well, Doug. Chip, the same thing to you. I'm going to look at an over in this one. I thought about the Zips. Now it's kind of getting away from me at a 6 spot. What are your thoughts on this one?
Kent State, are they the Flashes? Were they Golden Flashes?
Golden Flashes.
Golden Flashes.
They're golden.
There were a couple of years ago, I thought they had some kind of offense that was doing things, or I remember if I could recollect. So that was my first thought of this game. But like you said, you look at the record, and it doesn't look like they can play. Akron's won the last 2 meetings, and although I probably agree with your over, I would have a tendency to want to take the Zips here.
Okay, listen, at 4.5, I'm not saying I might have the Zips at a 4.5 spot here as opposed to a 6 run. But Kent, this is they're on the mend, Doug. Right? They've improved a little bit. They've won some games. They've taken a step forward. 13 points at Ball State, 10 points at Toledo, and I look at the over. I'm like, boy, how are we getting into the high 40s here? How is this getting to 47 when I got a team that scores versus bad MAC teams an average of 11.5 points a game?
Yeah, I can't do the total on this one, and I'll explain why here in a second. But here's the big news of the game, though: the winner still has a chance for bowl eligibility to get to 6. Okay, so that's what's important here. Okay, is that? So
do they really?
What's that?
Well, sure. Yeah, Ken, if they win out.
Yeah, Kent State wins out. They're going to a bowl game. But you look at Kent State. They're 120. They're tied for 124th in points scored. Okay, and they're averaging 18 points per game. Now, what I was talking about earlier about quarterbacks. Okay, here's your problem. The Kent State is 124th. There's 3 teams in the MAC that are worse in scoring. Okay, worse than Kent State, and we're only going to 136. Okay, so there's not a lot of room here. Okay, to play with here. But there's nothing zippy about the Zips either. Okay, they're 110th in scoring in the nation, so that's something. Now, at least though, as mentioned, Akron's won their last 2 games, and in fact, they gave Buffalo their first conference loss, so that's a good deal. So if they win, then they're set themselves up to be in position to be bowl eligible at Bowling Green next week. And to me, that's a big deal if you're an Akron fan. I know that literally the hundreds of Akron fans that are out there, or I guess hundreds, thousands, I'm not sure which it is. But the last time they went to a bowl was 2017, okay, for Akron. So that's that's a bigger deal. Kent State, though, here's the thing. 3-14 on the road as a road underdog against the spread. And as bad as that sounds, it gets worse. Because in those 17 games, they have lost by an average of 34.1 points per game.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'm not betting this game, but you know what? If I would, I'd take Akron up to 10. Why not? Give me Akron.
Yep.
You mentioned them scoring 18 points a game, Kent, we're speaking here. You get rid of the 42 they scored against UMass, who was arguably worse than
they are the worst.
Probably half for the subdivision as well. Like, that's a bad. You take away that 40 spot, and then you drop this team to like a 15-point a game team.
Right.
It's run. But again, that leads me to the total here with these guys. Now, let's be honest here. We're going to take Akron here minus we can find a 5.5 out here.
Take a 6. Don't even worry about the 6.
Here we go. Here's a man with confidence.
No, the 6. We're laying the 6. Okay. 5.5's out there, but Doug says to hell with it.
Don't worry about it.
Nobody's listening. He's like Bob Uecker in Major League Baseball. Nobody's listening.
And don't forget
minus the 6.
Jerry Faust was their coach, by the way. After he left Notre Dame, Jerry Faust went to Akron.
Jerry Faust?
Yes, sir.
This is terrible. It's his last game. They're running up the score, fella.
And by the way, I'm drawing a blank on the name. He's actually been on Fox too. Who was the wide receiver for New England with Tom Brady? The little guy. I can't think of his name.
The little white guy.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
He had a couple of little tiny guys out there.
Well, but this was like one of his best friends too. I can't think of his name, but if it comes to you, that's fine. Or if it just pops, or if I think of it, but he was a quarterback at Kent State. That's what he was in college.
I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I thought he was at one of the.
He was at Kent State.
I thought he was at one of the TCUs or something.
No, he went to Kent State for sure on that. Anyways, okay, enough. Game 2, a little more interesting.
All right, official play. We're doing the Akron minus 6. Although again, I'm enamored by the total based on the way these offenses are. It's maybe Akron does what they did against UMass and get to the 40 spot themselves and it goes over. That would be the look. All right, next game up here. The Ohio Bobcats versus Western Michigan. And Ohio comes in 1.5 point favorite here, 46.5 as the total. All right, so I always like to, you know what? My screen's screwed up here. Okay, where are we at? I always like to see where they're playing. I like to get the name of the stadium. It's Waldo Stadium, Chip, in Kalamazoo.
It's in Kalamazoo.
Waldo Stadium, the Ohio Bobcats. I'm a Bobcat backer. I did have Ohio last week. They played over the Miami of Ohio team. This one here, though, Western Michigan, I thought about maybe coming in here on a small home dog, head-to-head. They've lost the last two to these guys. And what we saw out of Miami last week, I think they should have won that game. Miami should have won. They should have beat Ohio last week, right? I mean, they Ohio pulled it out, but that wasn't easy. I had Ohio 2.5. I think we talked about this last week, Doug. Did you have all of a sudden it was like a random
I had Miami
pick 6. Yeah, yes. You're like, what the hell's going on here? It was like, this is terrible passing. You're off a game that you win miraculously. All right, that's one for you. Now you get one for the other guys here. I'm going to go Michigan. I have this flipped. I got actually Western Michigan here as a 1.5 favorite on what I thought it would be. It opened up opposite. I like the home team in this spot. Doug, I don't. You have bitterness towards them. You're angry with Ohio. They're probably not on your high list after what they did last week.
Miami had
they're a good little team.
If you can't tackle, that Miami had a chance. They just, they didn't get it done. Well, here's the big news, though. These two are 2 of the 4 teams that are tied for first. Okay?
Yes.
So it's a big game. Okay, plain and simple. Bobcats have the better offense. They're averaging in conference play, averaging nearly 30 points per game, giving up just 433. The Broncos from Kalamazoo, they're permitting only 12.6 points per game and a mere 266 yards. Okay, so we have a very much a contrast of offense and defense with these two teams. So in terms of making a decision, I'm going to go this way. The average score of an Ohio University MAC game is just a little over 50. The average score of a Western Michigan game is a little over 36. You just said the total is at 46.5. That leads me to believe then that the odds makers think that it's probably going to be a little more of an offensive game. And I think then if that's the case, that would favor Ohio U. Also, like the two other things, the fact that the visitor in the last 5 meetings, 4-1 straight up. And also the Bobcats are they're on a 5-0 ATS November run. So yes, the Bobcats burned me, but now they're going to turn around and make me feel better as my official play for the show.
There you go. We're opposites now. We're opposites.
Yes, again.
It's all right. I'm trying to look at the Ohio losses here. You lost to Ball State. And you're taking care of business. Western Michigan did lose to Miami, Ohio, who is the third best in the team they're all tied for. So I guess schedule-wise, you give the nod to the Ohio Bobcats. Chip, this is right in your wheelhouse, these teams.
You don't get to choose a total, Chip. You're the deciding vote.
So. Well, here's what I have to say about it. I mean, we're doing this conference, and the first 2 games you talked about teams total lack of offense, right? I mean, right. Doug, you said they're 150 among 110, and that's only 4 of the teams. Western Michigan, I saw, wow, number 13 defense in the country, and I'm impressed. And then you tell me about all the terrible offenses these teams. No wonder this team is 13th in defense, right? I mean, come on. They're giving up 291 yards a game. I think, or you said 266. Maybe something.
Conference games. I'm talking conference games.
Okay, there you go. And yet, Ohio is number 40 on offense, like you said. They've got a little experience here. But I happen to think that the defenses would take over. Last year, I think it was Ohio was a 17-point favorite, and they won by 3. And this year the line is down to where it is. I might have a lean on Western Michigan. I don't like these MAC games as big, solid plays, but I would lean toward Western Michigan.
Western Michigan, baby. We're going to listen. Again, Chip, you're like not impressed by their defense because it's the MAC and bad scheme, but this is who these teams play. So they're familiar with each other. That's, it's you take it with this is their conference and their baby. So the defense does translate to this kind of football. So we got that working in our favor.
The MAC conference will not get the 12th seed in the playoffs. I can assure you that.
Unfortunately not. There's nobody undefeated. There's no Roethlisberger.
There's nobody with less than 3 losses, I don't believe. I don't think everybody's got at least 3, if not 4. Total losses.
It's bad. It's there are a bunch of 3-loss clubs. It's also though like you have a team like Toledo who is always talent-wise, recruit-wise, the best team in conference. Mm-hmm. This coach finds way to lose. He goes on the road 14-point favorite. Forget about covering. Chip, this guy loses outright. He's lost outright 8 of his last 15 times as a double-digit favorite in conference. Terrible. Like that's how they're favored by 14. Now they lose outright on the road in games. It's crazy. And that's why they're sitting at 5-4 and looking up in the standings here.
Yep.
Whatever. You've been overruled. I'm sorry. We're going.
I know that. Hey, that's why we're here. The idea is to
normally when we have those kind of things, it's kind of like we gave a pick out. We don't have to give a pick out on every. We don't have to decide or total and do every single part of it. But I feel pretty good about this game here. I feel pretty good. I'm thinking about possibly using it. I don't know yet. It's still Monday. We'll make an official pick here, though. Western Michigan, pick them. It's a pick. Akron minus the 6.
Well, by the way, okay, go. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to say, I don't know who it is, Wes Welker or Julian Edelman, white guy.
Wes Welker.
No, it was no.
And Edelman was the quarterback.
Yeah, Edelman was a quarterback at Kent State. Yep, that's who it was, Julian Edelman.
Yep.
There we go. Couple little guys. Northwestern. Or no, yeah. And where did he play? NWE. That was in where's this college? Oh, I'm looking at his what's it here? But yes, that's who we're talking about here.
Yep. Yeah, Wes Welker went to Texas Tech, I think.
Yep, Kent State, Julian Edelman. Yeah, Welker was the Texas TCU guy, Tech, wherever he went, Tech or one of those schools.
I thought it was Tech. Yeah.
It's all the same.
Don't question my MAC knowledge. Don't question my MAC knowledge.
Doug Mac Upstone.
Do they have hockey in that MAC?
Not to my knowledge.
Oh,
Really?
College hockey. University of Wisconsin doesn't have baseball. They gave that up in late 80s. They gave that up.
Are you kidding?
You'd think the Michigan schools would have
a scholarship.
What's that? I didn't even hear it. But anyways, go ahead.
I was gonna say, was Wisconsin part of the union when you were in college?
There we go. The
baseball, you used to have to tag the runner.
Oh man! All right, here we go. Long show today. Listen, we had some little talk early, fun talk at the end. Free picks though. 32-31 college football, 3-1 weekend with our college football. Akron -6. Western Michigan gets the call here as a pick 'em. There you go. You might find a 105. We need them to win at this kind of nonsense. It's get it done at home here, Western. We got to go. Let's go. Make Callum happy.
One last thing on Thursday. Then, if Ohio wins, I want an apology from you, Sean, and then Chip, I'll call in your show, okay, and ask for an apology just to interrupt the show briefly.
I'll make a special video for you for that.
We will talk about it on Thursday because Thursday we'll be doing Oklahoma, Alabama, and Texas, Georgia. So more college football with Doug and Alex Smart on Thursday.
And then we'll be previewing the next week MAC games then too, right? On that show?
Yes.
Thursday.
Well,
okay.
Monday.
Just wanted to be sure on
back.
that. Just wanted to be sure.
Don't we listen? The MAC is in full. We were doing what, Sunbelt or what was the one we were doing before that?
Conference USA.
Conference USA. Yeah. So next week, the great Massachusetts versus the Ohio Bobcats will be front and center on Tuesday.
Exactly.
Listen, that line, we're not going to be laying 20 in that game. We won't talk about that. Bowling Green, Akron, maybe a little above. Actually, Miami, Ohio, and Buffalo. That's a Wednesday game. Forget it. We can't do that one.
All right.
We'll find something. Chip's pumped up about Maction. It's like, get me the hell out of here. Is it baseball season yet? Let's talk hot stove.
Baseball. Whew, that's a long grind, baseball. So's the NBA.
I'm going to say, now's your time to shine, Chip. So, NBA, your darling last year. You had it in the palm of your hand, cradled it. You loved it. It delivered like a champion. Any NBA for today or coming forward? What's going on with you this week?
I have one game in the NBA. I've been taking it kind of leash, trying to feel my way through right now because, big games and the big money really don't start till December. And, the NBA, they have that tournament coming up, the Cup, the NBA Cup.
It's ongoing right now.
And I'm trying to figure out, did very well with it last year. I'm just trying to figure out what the significance of it is within the season and who really cares about it and which games apply to it and which games don't apply to it. And, some teams may want to care about it and others – but there is added money to them. But, they can always get that extra money by betting a prop bet.
Right. Be easier. Less effort.
Yeah, the NBA. Listen, I'm not early NBA for me is no betting allowed. Limited in my NBA if I'm going to find anything. The fact they have to entice these guys to play, and you want to be betting on them, folks. Wait for the more meaningful games. Listen to Chip. The guy delivers in the NBA. He knows what he's talking about. Now we'll pivot to the ice. The frozen court. Doug had a pretty good season last year. We're still newly underway here this season. How you been doing? And what do you got on tap here today?
Yeah, it's like I mentioned on the Thursday with Alex Smart from Canada, is that it hasn't been a good start. Okay, there's been far more. There's been more volatility, considerably more. But at some point, it's going to settle down. And so I had a winner yesterday. Myself. So look, I have a play, or not pass today. I passed today. I do have a Monday Mauler, Sean, for you.
Monday Mauler's up. I love it.
That's in college basketball. 58-33 going back to last year, and then I got an NBA game in a 23-4, 85.2% super system going in the NBA tonight. So ready to got some good action. And so for better for worse, there's no way I can do worse than I did last Saturday in college football. So it's all up. We're just looking straight up from here.
There you go. We have the Monday Mauler up. I see Chip's got a best bet up here for Monday as well. I got a little Monday Night Football myself. And listen, how about me on the ice? 4-1 with ice this year out of the gate. Right. Crazy. 2-4 in the NBA. Again, limited. That's a 7-5 record. That's like a random college basketball day for me. Although I haven't had a 12-pack lately, so I've been again, it's early. Last year, gentlemen. You know this, right? We've talked about this. Chip brought up the NBA. Doug mentioned the ice. I'll say the same thing in basketball was really good last year. It changes. You gotta kind of look, and it's different every year. You gotta find a little groove. But there you go. 2 free picks today. Akron -6. Western Michigan in a pick'em. Maction for Tuesday. Doug disagrees. I overruled. I'm the heaviest. I'm the biggest guy here. It's I'm throwing down the ace on top like we're playing spades. I'm calling the table here. Domino. Let's go. Western Michigan for the Bronx, right? The Broncos, Western Michigan Broncos. I confuse them and the Chippewas. They're Central Michigan, right? The Chips.
The Chippewas, correct.
I'm always rooting for the Chippewas.
And Eastern Michigan.
Now they're the Eagles. They used to be the Hurons.
Hurons. That's why I was like, I know they changed their name.
Yes. Yeah. Eastern Michigan Hurons.
We love our directional colleges. Southeast Louisiana in basketball. I'm only kidding. I don't even know what they're playing. I just want to decide a crazy direction. All right. For Chip, Doug, and myself, hit the like button. If you stuck around here for 45 minutes, we appreciate you. Best bets are up. Go get our top plays at gamblersworld.net. Day pass is $69.99. The weekly pass, folks. Maction, NFL, college football. It's 7 days a week. You love NFL and college football the best. Get on board for a weekly pass. Guaranteed to show you a profit or we credit you back. There you go. Happy Monday, gents. Good to see you.
Thank you, Sean.
Bye-bye.